Was it just kick it? She would just kick over.
Okay,
Just
listen.
Just
kick
kick
it.
it.
Okay, or could we can we go down? Okay, can we go down to SWV?
Tonight. Can we do it
Okay.
tonight?
Listen,
Yes. Okay. So, whew,
girl.
I know you have to exhale before you get into these ladies. All
Oh,
right. Okay, so Taj and Tasha link up. They go to some museum out in Tennessee, but I feel like the reason they did this was because Taj wanted to convince Tasha of her legacy and convince her of, or not, you don't have to convince her about her legacy, but remind her of it in the effort to convince her to do the show, which is why I think they actually went there. Taj decides that she's going to open up and tell I'm sorry, Tasha decides she's gonna open up and tell Taj about her sister body shaming her, but says that's not the issue, that's not the real reason as to why they beefing. It's more so because of the disrespect of her mom. One thing that irritates me about Tasha is that when it's one thing that's really bothering her, she'll use something else to deflect. When her sister was really bothering her by the things that she was saying, she used Kandi as a deflection and said, oh no, it's me and Kandi, how she just randomly brought up Kandi. And we like, girl, these past few episodes been about you and your sister. Where did Kandi come in? Now you're talking to Taj and you're supposed to be talking about your issue with your sister, but then you make it seem like it's what she said to your mom that's bothering you the most. I don't understand her and her tude. But she also opens up to Taj, which y'all let me know if this is messed up. She opens up to Taj about her solo deal, but she ain't tell none of her other Xscape members. Nobody else knew.
That
and
was a plan. She did that shit on purpose. She wanted to do
mm,
that.
she wanted it to get out, but she didn't want to have the conversation with them first of all. I also don't understand why I mean, she need help. Like that's the first thing because I feel like on some level she letting the husband completely rot her brain or something like that. The way she goes blank in the face. Um, but I feel like on some level, the way she handles them is some weird shit. Like, why not just keep it a buck and say that you also want to have a solo career, especially because you did it the last time? It's like she wants to keep them on the hook. She doesn't want them to be able to go and do things without her. She wants them to wait for her to get what she wants and then decide whether she wants to come back to the group or not. And I just, it's just like, girl, ugh.
Yeah, I think she whack. I don't like the fact that she sat up there talking about something. It's not that she leaving the group, she just want freedom. And this time she doesn't want to move in fear or something like that. And I'm like, Tasha, what are you
Girl,
talking
what?
about? You wasn't moving in fear the last time you went and got your solo stuff.
It's because she
Why you
want to
keep
be
trying to make
needed.
them the problem? I can see that.
She want to be needed so she can keep saying like that she was the voice of the group. But she also don't want them to move on without her. So it's like, girl, that's another reason. What like the reality is, you need them, which is why you plotted and waited until this comeback to try to go solo again.
Mm,
Hmm. She does need them.
very much so. Calculated. Very much so. What did y'all think about Coco's bipolar situation? That I love that they are. I never knew this. I know they had a show before, but a lot of the stuff that they're sharing when it comes, because I feel like SWV is sharing more with us than Escape. Yeah, I do. I feel like I'm learning more about Lily. I'm learning more about Coco. It's not a whole lot to know about Taj,
Taj.
but nobody else is really giving me like that in between time. But I mean, like Tamika, what you was doing when the group, like we know what Kandi and Tiny was doing when things kind of fell apart. But what were
Tamika
you up
was
to?
she was doing Tyler Perry plays.
Was
Mm.
she?
Yeah, she was
I did
you
not
know,
know that.
he was doing a lot of like, off Broadway, no disrespect, circuits plays. If I can recall correctly. But yeah, I remember the last reality show that SWV was on. So I remember about, Lily and everything about her living in her car and working a regular job and, really needing a group to get back together at that point. And I also think it's so funny that Taj and them act like, I was like, oh, we had these issues when we were in our 20s. It's like, girl, stop fucking fronting. Y'all didn't, y'all was arguing on the last show y'all had because Coco didn't want to get it together. And I feel like that must have been like during the time before Coco figured out that she was bipolar. So I thought that was very interesting because that was something that was absolutely new information. But it did make sense once she, started to talk about it. Cause I can remember like she left such a bad taste in everybody's mouths after their first reality show. I can remember. But I'm glad that they finally pulled it together and they can come together and get their check. But
For
without
sure.
that, I feel like, yeah, they're boring. I hate to say it like that.
I wish we found out
Dang.
more about the thing that I feel like is the elephant in the room is it Coco mama being real religious and her son being gay?
I think they are cool. I think that situation probably in some ways has already kind of ran its course because, the grandmother was more on his side about the dentistry school thing. And then the
Yeah,
grandmother
I
was
think
like,
they
you come
cool.
and lay in my lap. So it
I
gave
think
that,
they cool too, but I want to know like
what she feel?
not I don't want to know like does she approve of him? I want to know like what was that like for her to be so religious and still be able to keep her
Relationship.
religion separate from how
Oh,
she feels for her grandson. Like
okay.
I don't care like if she approved. I just want to know like what was that like? Because obviously, as much as they talk about her being religious and it's been brought up several times, she is choosing to separate that from her relationship with her grandson.
I also
Mm.
feel like it's something to say about people whose religion changes all of a sudden when a check is involved,
Mm.
right? And that's no
Right.
disrespect. But, and also I want to say when I mean they're boring, I mean before all of the conflict, SWV was just over there birds chirping. Ain't nothing really going wrong with they group because they figured all of their shit out for the most part. I feel like if Kandi hadn't said anything about the billing, I don't think that SWV would have had any real drama in their story if
Mm-mm.
it were not for that because everything is kind of
That's true.
going cool with them. So it's not a bad thing. But when it comes to Xscape over here, you got Tasha and Tamika arguing the mama, $30,000 stolen. Child, who knows what the hell going on with Tiny over there?
Listen,
Okay.
and still ain't get to her tea yet. That's funny. Um,
Listen.
that's crazy. Tamika and her mama. Speaking of her mama, she come to the house. They sit down. They talk about all of the drama. Her
Oh
mama,
goodness.
Tamika tells her mama that she shows favoritism. Her
Mhm.
mom asks, "Do I show favoritism?" Yes, you do.
Mhm.
Soon as the girl tries to explain to her that you never allowed me to say my piece, the mama interjects and interrupts her. Period. Right out the gate. Then not only did she interrupt her when she tells her that she hurt her sister to her core and how she talked about her husband and she hopes that she could sleep at night with the things that she said about her sister and her husband, not acknowledging none of the fact that these folks stole her money outside of letting her know that ain't nobody steal your money. Girl, her mama's a mess. And
Mhm.
she wants to be the fifth member and she not. And I'm sorry,
The fifth member.
I would have
Right.
had to politely check her ass. I mean, Tamika eventually got around to it. But it was, I don't know, them tears wasn't given authentic to me at the end. Tamika's
Oh, her
were, but
mama.
her mom's weren't. Mm-mm.
Right. Even when the mama pulled up to the house and was at the door, like, well, I'm here. Like, it just bothered me because I felt like she knew that that was going to be the next thing that she had to do after showing her ass. Like, I know how this looks. I got to go talk to my daughter. I got to tell her I love her. And I
Mm-hmm.
hate it. That scene really bothered me. Like, she literally looked like out of body when she was crying
Oh
to
yeah.
me.
She
She didn't
definitely went
believe
somewhere
nothing that
else.
she was saying. She completely numbed herself from her mom from
She
feeling
did.
anything, even though the tears was coming down. it just is really sad. And the issue with that is like, I think that her mom knows that she's supposed to love her, which is why
Mm.
she was saying those things, which is
Yeah.
why she's
But
saying
not that she
everything that
really
she's.
feels them.
I don't think that she really does. Maybe I think that she loves her as much as she can, but I don't think that she truly. It's something missing there, and it's huge. Like
I'm
it's
gonna tell you.
something missing, and
Mm.
it's huge.
I think that the mom has a lot of built up resentment because of what happened with the dad. Cause she even as soon as she said that shit, I was like, that's what it is. Like,
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's
you
why
was
she
the
thought there was her
housewife.
money to take.
Cause
Yeah.
why would she even say that BS? I was the
Like,
fifth member
girl.
when your daddy walked out.
Mhm.
Like, what they got to
Like,
do with
what was you
anything?
supposed to do? Leave the children destitute because the man left? Is that what you were supposed to do,
Uh,
ma'am? Like,
she wished she did. That's it. She wishes she did. That's why she said that. She wishes
mm,
that she could have been the one to leave and raise and have him raise the kids, and she's holding Tamika accountable for that.
that's so fucked up. That's so
Mm.
messed up. I also feel like because they struggled, you know what I'm saying? Specifically because they struggled, I feel like she really like is resentful of them. I It's just upsetting to watch a mother add to the daughter's discourse the way she does. Like and and it's giving petty. It's giving like 15-year-old in a mind. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just real sad. And I hate it because I feel like they're gonna feel the need to like defend their mother. But in essence, like, come on, y'all. Like it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm. It is. It's very, very sad. And she never seems to have that girl back at all. That's why I'm glad she told her that. Like, damn, I wish you had my back like you got. It seemed like she got Rocky back more than she got her own child back.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But her mama does strike me as the type of mama because her husband left her, in my personal opinion, that she probably tells Tasha whatever she needs to tell Tasha to hold on to her relationship
Yes.
so that
You know,
she
that's what I
doesn't
was
have
And
thinking.
to
He a
live
good
also
without
man for
that.
being a girl.
Mm-hmm.
the other thing to me is I feel like she probably go up for Rocky so hard because Rocky probably take care of her too.
Oh yeah.
Rocky take care of
Yeah.
her too. So
And
any
they was
Mm.
man that she feel like is willing to take care of her
Oh,
when
wow.
Tamika Daddy didn't do it, she gonna go up for Rocky. That's why she felt like, yeah, that was my $30,000 to take because you don't know what we needed it for. She didn't want to say that,
Mm.
but they needed the money.
Mm.
in my back.
Wow. Mm.
I feel like
Huh?
I left. Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I
feel
didn't
like
think you left.
okay, I was spinning it and I ain't know. But I was saying the same thing about the mom. Like it's given because my man left, you need to just be grateful for the fact that he wants to stick around. But he's sticking around because his livelihood is dependent upon her. And I think that's another thing that they keep, forgetting. And I understand like and this is the difference to me because everybody talks about Todd being an opportunist and all of that shit. Ever since he got with
Mm-hmm.
Kandi, him making less money than Kandi, they've always made it seem like, he wasn't shit without her. He's an opportunist. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Todd was gonna be okay anyway because of the type of person that Todd is. Being in,
Mm-hmm.
in television and production and all of that, he's been successful at that. We've watched
Right.
successful shows produced by Todd before. So at the end of the day, I feel like Ty was gonna always find a way to do what he's doing, which is be in production. Whereas with Rocky, I'm wondering if there was no Tasha, would Rocky really be out here managing people?
Mm.
I'm just wondering because you
No.
don't seem to have a good reputation. So it absolutely feels like, everything is predicated on Tasha, but he has to control Tasha, which keeps Tasha from really like growing the way she could. Because if she were to grow in that way, like I think he sabotaged her career. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Ooh,
Oh
that
yeah,
that
by
was what my
sabotaging her
question
mind.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I wondered that if he had something to do with that because I think Kandi did. I don't know if it was speak on it or interview. She did something where she said she had nothing to do with that solo deal being lost. It was more so Jermaine Dupri. I guess he wrote a book or wrote something and pretty much said her deal didn't go any further or her album didn't go any further because of her ego. Therefore, it
Mm.
made me question, was it her ego and could it have been Rocky's ego as well? Did he have
Mm,
anything? So I don't know if he was around at that time,
I think
but
he was. Because I think they got together early on. like during those early years of, I mean, not, not early years of Xscape, because they were teenagers, but I think she said that she had to be like 19, 20 at the time, because Rocky walks up to her boyfriend who was at the studio with
She
them
said
and
they've been
says,
married 27 years. So how old is she now?
"Child, somebody look it up.
Mm.
Let me look it up,
I'll
y'all."
It's
look it
just
up.
2023 though, so they had to have been together then.
Right. Okay.
Right.
1995. They got married in 1995. So almost
And the group
20
broke up
years.
when? 99?
I thought what? I thought it was like, yeah,
99.
somewhere up in there, 98, 99.
Yeah. Hold up. Let me
Mm-hmm.
see when the first song came out or whatever. Um
Lay back, kick it, and enjoy the
19 let me see. I'm trying to find it. Okay, yeah. So 1995.
Mm.
I mean, they got
Yeah.
together 91, 92, but they didn't really start. I don't know if the 93 is when the first album comes out. So 2
Okay,
years
okay.
after the first album comes out, they get together. So yeah,
Did
I
y'all
mean,
peep how she was trying to insinuate that Kandi really was fucking Jermaine Dupri and his daddy? She said something like Kandi just wanted was a girl that just wanted to move up. So she, was bumping shoulders with people like Jermaine Dupri and his father. She said something along the
Wow.
lines, it was on the show. She didn't say that she slept with them, but she said something like Kandi was always trying to get close to people to move up. And she
mhm.
named them too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, nah, they was definitely together probably when that first album, like probably within like a year of the first album, because their second album came out in 1995 and that's when they got married. So they had to be together like at the beginning of the success, which makes me, and then he was also R. Kelly's manager at one point, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
So
she said that's
I
how
think I
he
heard
first
that.
started. She said
yeah,
it in the beginning. She was like, I don't even know if I should say this.
right.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she
That's right.
did.
You're right.
But
You're right.
when you kind of put that together, like, so you think that you was around R. Kelly like that and you didn't have some of those same ideals as a man, like that very pimp like mentality about how to mentally control a woman. I mean, look at the Joycelyn Savage and the rest of the girls over there that was brainwashed, like, and now you sitting up there and he whispering in your ear talking about, I'm telling her what to say. Like, yeah, it's absolutely giving you been brainwashed for the past like 20 years of your life. Like,
And
Hmm.
coming in the studio joking, talking about, look here,
and
anime.
me.
I'm like,
Mhm.
it's the fact that I think that that's how you are for real. You're trying to
Oh
joke
yeah.
about it.
Oh, and another
Mm.
thing, when they said, I forgot who it was that said he helped her lose weight, but that made me feel like, oh yeah, it's deep. Cause then
Oh, I never
he
heard
can,
that. I
yeah,
didn't
like
know
he
he
helped
helped her
her
lose
lose the
weight.
weight. So then she's gonna always feel like I wouldn't be me without him. So she'll always feel indebted to him. So she'll
Hold on, she
always be
said
making.
that?
No, but I'm saying like that's probably how she feels in her mind because he helped her lose the weight. And you could tell
So
the
much.
weight
Mm-hmm.
thing is a huge insecurity for her. The body thing is a huge insecurity for her. So her finally being able to be, small like the rest of the girls, I feel like him helping her attain that probably in her mind means that he will always be a person that she feels indebted to. So when she goes to make these
Yes.
decisions that she should be making for herself, she's gonna have him at the forefront of her mind. And it really shouldn't be like that. It's absolutely giving
And
like
I
Mary J. Blige can do type shit.
and I
Mm.
strongly believe that
I don't like
he
that for her.
she seems like the type of woman to me to where if he had a girlfriend, it's because she knew he had a girlfriend. She would allow that shit to happen, but maybe just not speak on it. I don't
Like
think
the
that she's the type.
I don't see it. It's not happening.
Yeah, I don't think that he has a
Yeah.
mistress. I think he has a girlfriend, and that she probably
Oh,
just not gonna speak on the shit.
a full blown, like Martell Holt, full blown
Yeah,
girlfriend.
that's what it's given. So when they toasted the 27 years, like it just didn't sit right with me to be like,
You're
oh,
right.
people be together for a long ass time, but it'd be a long ass time, and
Yeah.
that's what it was given.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's giving
That's true.
long-term mind control. And it's sad because I feel like she probably was listening to him when she was
Mm.
in negotiations and all of that. And I'm gonna tell you, they said it was her ego, but I bet you any money, them men did not want to deal with Rocky, and Rocky will probably assert himself, in her business dealings. And people was like, if we got to deal with him, then we ain't gonna fuck with you. And she thought she was that girl enough. And it's so funny though, because when you hear them sing now, people can say what they want to say about Kandi, but Candy's voice is very distinct. Tamika sounds like Tasha to me. I'm gonna just keep it
She
a buck.
does. She does. Like I was watching something on YouTube, one of their pieces of concert, and I heard Tamika singing Tasha's part. I'm like, they
Yeah.
don't we
They
would
don't need
like
her.
you, but they don't need
Yes,
you.
we will prefer it,
Mm.
but they don't need her because Tamika can sing all her parts.
And she
And
has been so comfortable being in that background for so long.
finally
Girl.
getting her shine now. And you know what fucked my head up though? When Kandi was telling a story, I
That
think when
shit's
she was
sad.
on Shannon Sharp show,
Yeah.
and she
Hmm.
was talking about how when they first was going in to have that meeting about the third album, and Tamika was supposed to be on Tiny and Candy's side, and then she switched at the last minute, and they came in there with matching gray wigs. I was just like, see, I believe that somebody mentioned it was like they feel like Kandi getting some type of like pleasure out of Tasha and Tamika fighting. And I'm like, that's not what it is. It's because for the longest, Kandi has kind of been on a boat by herself
Yeah,
until
it's
Hmm.
like I've been
Tiny.
said this shit.
Yes, exactly. It's
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like I was right and y'all didn't want to believe me,
Y'all
and now
always
y'all
thought I
believe
was
me.
the problem.
Aha.
Hmm.
So it's like it's
Yeah.
vindication is what it really feels
And
like.
that's what I was going. I'm like, and if she is, it's kind of like that might be like a human thing. She might not be indulging in the fact that she's going through this, but it's kind of like, see, now I'm glad everybody get to see that I wasn't the problem the whole time. Like I
Yeah.
can't see Kandi not being a bit happy about it, like just but not
Yeah, I didn't think she was
glorifying in
being
her
messy.
down type situation, but
Because
so
even when Tamika came and told Tiny and Candy that, the family meeting didn't go well, I think Candy was like, oh man, but she didn't ask what happened. And I think Tiny was the one who was like, so what happened?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
mm,
I agree.
But yeah, you got a
I
couple
hate
super
to be that
chats and
person.
comments on the
I'm
show,
about to
Jim.
say, girl, somebody gave you
Okay.
$100.
Okay. Hold on one second. I was gonna hold on. Okay. Um, Damien, thank you so much for the super chat. It's the mom omitting the truth in Tamika's face. Tamika revealed the check came to her mom's house when Tasha and Rocky lived with them at the time. And that was one of my questions. And I
Hmm.
figured they had to all live together. How you clearly the mama knew what she was going through, which is why she said you don't know what they was going through at that time. Like,
Yep.
girl, and then gonna tell that lady y'all ain't take her money. Y'all did. I'm sorry. Thank you, Damien, for the super chat. Mama was definitely playing in her face. That's why I didn't fully believe the tears. I felt like that was only for a moment and it wasn't going to last. And as y'all see how they've been doing these interviews, they not back where they used to be either.
Mm-mm.
So
She said it's
it's
Nah,
a
a
they
work in
sad.
sad.
progress. I said, girl, that mean it
Even
ain't good.
Tamika YouTube video, they still ain't good. And Tamika daughters, low key got off smoke.
Oh, especially the young one. The young one, no, because
Yes,
I don't like,
yes.
I don't, and I'm her. She is me and I am her. I ain't that evolved.
Period.
I don't give a fuck, okay?
Because that's still her mom. Even though Tamika's
Yes,
like,
you're
don't
my mama.
disrespect my mom and sister, but it's like, don't disrespect my mama. You my mama.
Hello,
Mm-hmm.
you're my mom. I'm feeling away.
Yep.
Right. Thank you, Jaylene, for the super chat. Thank you for the $100 super chat. Girl, we need like some little pew, 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 pew. We need to hit one of
Yeah.
them breaks. I feel like I saw Trina
The
Braxton hit
sound
like a weird
effects.
dance. Yeah, like something. But thank you for the super chat. I think that Tamika's mom wished that she was supposed to be the young, successful sister. And she sees who she wanted to be in Tamika and admires her control over Tasha. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let me read that again. I think that Tamika's mom wished that she was supposed to be the young. So you're thinking that Tamika's mom herself was supposed to be the young, successful sister? And she sees who she wants to. I mean, I can see her living through her children,
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
especially
think
after
it's
that
more
man walked
so.
out.
I think it's more so of her feeling like because Tasha, somebody made a good point because Tasha was the lead singer. Tasha probably gave her the most enjoyment, like as a parent.
Mm,
Like, oh, look what my daughter, the lead singer, look what she did. Because Tamika kind of played the background a lot. Tasha being, the one who's they say everybody loves her voice. She's the better singer. They always said that about Tasha back in the day. So I feel like the mom probably felt a lot of pride from Tasha versus Tamika. I also feel like it's one of them times where whatever kid looks more like the daddy, or whatever kid had the closest relationship to the daddy, that's the one you gonna treat like shit. Like,
and I
Facts.
also wonder if I want to know if their mama used to be big because I feel like
she didn't
she
look
tried to
that
downplay.
she
Now
didn't
she
look
on the
like
way.
it. No, they showed a picture of her from when she was
Oh,
married.
you're right.
And she
You're
was
right.
very beautiful. And she looked like, she
Mm-hmm.
was slender. I'm telling you, I think that because when you look at the picture, she looked like somebody that probably prided themselves on being the wife and being taken care of. And when that
Mm-hmm.
husband left
Yeah.
her and they had to struggle, I feel like that shit really like caused a lot of
The
Mm-hmm.
anger
bitterness,
and resentment. And
ice
everything
spots
has.
where her heart used to be.
Mhm,
There we go. And she's
exactly.
still holding on to that. She hasn't
Somebody,
She's so
they
released
say
that.
like
cold. She's
Evelyn
so cold.
Braxton. That's what they say they remind them of.
Who? Which Braxton?
Evelyn Braxton, the mama.
Uh-huh. Say
Oh,
more in
I
their
didn't know
mama.
Evelyn Braxton was like that. I didn't know that.
I don't think she's as bad, but I feel like Tamar, like being the way she is because of the mama. And that was like, I
Mm.
didn't really realize it until I was watching it on Iyanla. When I saw them on Iyanla, it was when I was like, oh, now I see. Like, the mama's mean. She's mean. And then she pops off and all of that. And then she has that, you can't tell me nothing. Don't disrespect me, but I could disrespect you. And she knew how to act on camera and stuff. I'll
Well,
give her
she.
that.
Well,
But
I was here when she got Tamar though.
oh
When
yeah,
she told Tamar to shut up.
don't make me say it again. I
When
used to
did
I'm
love when
who
she
did
hollering.
she
told
say let that man cheat in
I,
peace? Who was she saying that to?
was it Trina
that.
or was it
It
Tawanda?
might have been Tawanda because both of them was
Uh,
doing. Girl, both of them was doing it.
It
But
wasn't
yeah,
Tony
I
and it wasn't
uh-uh.
Tracy.
It probably was
And it damn
Tawanda.
sure wasn't Tamar. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Tawanda.
huh.
Yeah. But it's definitely given like he left me and I'm mad about it and I'm gonna be mad about it forever. Like,
Forever.
okay, like that man that moved on, remarried, and you still over there at the house that y'all used to live in being upset and mad all the time. Like, girl, you need to do better.
Period.
The super
Thank you
chat from
again,
Damien was
Jaylene,
just
for
killing me.
oh thank you again, Jaylene, for the $100 super chat. Real quick. Yes, it's me. Thank you for the super chat. That video Tasha posted on YouTube, I think he's trying to get in front of that Tasha K story. I believe that too. And it's putting
Mm.
Tasha in the front, but it's not working. Okay. Fingers crossed. Bank info. What? Bank info soon. Soon someone tell Tasha to stop bleaching.
Ooh.
Y'all think Tasha bleaching?
I don't think she
I think
bleaches.
it's
No,
the
I
I don't
think
change
think
of
she
so.
diet
wear.
and the hair.
I
Thanks for
think
the
it's the
super
Yeah,
chat.
makeup. I think it's
and
the
the
makeup and the
highlight.
hair.
One
Oh,
thing
Yes.
people started to do is highlight it with the contour. Like people not doing a solid one tone face like they was doing in the 90s and early 2000s.
But still,
hmm
People faces barely like what I'm feeling like people doing now is this part is much brighter and
yes.
this part is a shade or two brighter and only this part is your actual skin tone. And that's what
But
she's
peep,
giving.
peep how
Mm.
her hands and Tamika's hands are the same color, but
And
their
they
faces
legs.
are not.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's
It's
not
the
bleach.
makeup.
It's makeup. But it's like,
Hold on, let me
girl,
use a different one.
And
Mm.
makeup and the hair. Their blonde is making it pick up more. Yeah,
yeah,
it's the
the blonde
combination.
is helping to pick
Cause
up more.
even
But
Coco got blonde hair and she still
and it
look
don't look like
chocolate.
that. Right. Yeah, nah, she absolutely putting way too much highlighter on to lighten herself up. She probably insecure in every way that a black girl could be insecure. Oh, my nose. Oh, I'm overweight. Oh, I'm not, light enough. Like
hmm
shit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kavan, for the super chat. The jealousy is very clear when people talk about Kandi. It's definitely given why her and not me.
Like Ty
Ow.
said, like Ty said, she trying to figure out what do you say? She trying to understand why you became what you became and why she's still where she at. Is what he told
Mhm.
her.
That's what he said. Yep.
Honestly,
Yep.
they're not ready for that conversation, and that's what I figured out when Kandi was talking about the billing situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's hard for people to understand it, and because I was watching SWV do they live, and the way they were talking about it, they really were like, in my opinion, taking it personal to some level about, how much they're worth versus how much Xscape is worth. And I'm like, I don't feel like that's what Kandi was saying. I feel like because Kandi in Xscape didn't have representation, they had to have this very uncomfortable conversation that the managers probably would have had behind the scenes. I told you, I also feel like it was, something that Kandi and Ty came up with to come to us with the bullshit. Essentially so that they'll have issues on the show. But it definitely made me think about how a lot of people aren't money centered in the same way that Kandi and Tiny are. And that's why y'all don't have money like that. Like, I'm sorry to say
Mm-hmm.
it, but it's like a mindset that you have to have. And when people talk about women being in business and all of that, and how a shrewd businesswoman, you hear that. But I feel like you don't get an opportunity to see what that really looks like. And what that looks like is, I'm going to put how much money I make above anybody's fucking feelings.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it kind of made me feel like, even though I respect the way SWV feel about it, it should be a co-headline situation. I totally agree, but I also understand why Kandi thinks the way she does, is because that's how you get to your money, is when you
Ye-
put that first, no
Excuse
matter
me.
what.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that when I was watching the show. I'm like, girl, just co-headline. Like, we just got Tasha. Like, you're doing too much. Like, now you over here trying to be the headline, when it seems like SWV brought the idea to you. But when I went to her Kandi speak on it, and if y'all go over there and check it out, how she broke it down did make more sense when you're trying to set it up. Like, if this is gonna be the show and they have other promoters trying to pick them up, you're trying to go ahead and lay the groundwork for what's understood, so that y'all don't have to do this at a later time. So when she broke that down, I understood her. But when it came down to it just being one show, at
Mhm.
that time, it was like, just focus on the one show co-headline. And if somebody decides they want to pick y'all up from that moment and promote, then y'all can have those conversations like, yeah, this was a one-off, but how we move, this not how we normally operate. And she also came with the receipts. Like, I don't even know why SWV blew up so much when y'all had opened up for Xscape in the past. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh damn, I didn't
Also,
even know
I
that.
had both of those thought processes. Initially, I was like, she tripping. But then, like, after a while, I was like, you know what? She the only one. She the only one with that amount of money, her and Tiny. So I was like, okay, I respect where she's coming from when she explained, like, it's no disrespect to y'all, but this is what we've always done. Not to mention the fan base that they feel like they bring to the shows outside, because it's not even, I feel like they worded that in not the best way. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that it's a fan base that they're bringing, like people from Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's the fact that their continued stardom is what's
Mm.
giving them these opportunities, not
mhm.
I
necessarily the
like how
fan
you worded
base.
that. Yeah, I like
Hmm.
how you worded it, because when I was watching it, oh, messing with my mic. But when I was watching it, I damn sure didn't get that. I got the first thought that you said. Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
Real Housewives gonna like, just like Kenny
yeah,
said, you sold 30 million records, don't mean it's gonna convert to sales. And I'm like, and followers don't convert to sales, like,
they
either.
don't.
Not the
But
max,
they have that 30
but when
city
you
tour to also like consider when it comes to how they can sell tickets on their own.
you talking about Candy number based on their past, based on their
Yes,
numbers of what they did. I mean,
yes.
I guess that makes sense, but then they will have to compare that with anything that SWV has done too. So if they meet in the middle on that, then we still stuck at who headlines.
I think, I agree with
Cause
y'all. I agree with everybody that feel like it should be a co-headline situation. I really, really do. And I feel like they did do that one show. Somebody said they did a co-headline show in California and it happened. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know if it's going to turn
mm,
into the tour that they're talking about doing. To me, it sounded like they were saying they
gotcha.
wanted to keep like redoing verses in tour form. That's what it sounded like to me.
That's what it sounds
Just
like. Okay.
adding more
Hmm.
production value to it. And that's the case where we got to start talking about the breakdown of money and who's going to put what in. And I just kind of feel like, as much as it's, SWV, like I agree with everybody else about how I want to hear SWV's music before I want to hear Xscape's. But I also feel like you do have to take into account that, Kandi and them don't tour nearly as much. Xscape doesn't tour as much as SWV. If anybody pays attention to the new edition tours and shit, like SWV be on all those tours. Like they're always performing. Xscape isn't always performing in the same way. So when Kandi was talking about that, I also understood because I'm like, yeah, you really could go see SWV for like a cheaper ticket. You know what I'm saying? Than you probably would for Xscape because Xscape doesn't tour nearly as much. You're not going to be able to just wait a few months and then see them somewhere again. So that was another thing that clocked for me about, the whole touring thing because I've seen SWV and I've seen those R&B shows with all of those different, acts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also, it's not shade that they open. Like, I want to say that because I feel like SWV, like, their music gonna always, like, to me, go up. Like, it's gonna always go up no matter what. So if y'all want to go home early, you know what I'm saying? Because Lily was like, is it really that bad to be the opener? Is it really that much better to be the headliner? I'm like, not if you're trying to get home at a reasonable hour, bitch. Not really. You gonna go and do your little doo-wop, and you gonna be out of there by 10 o'clock. Because normally that's the time that the next set is gonna come on because the last person gonna be late. We already know, last group gonna be late.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just,
And
Xscape
you
is
know
not
what?
good.
It was two
No, they're
things. It was two things that I was gonna say. One thing was when it comes to the headlining thing, it's like Xscape, y'all want a headline, but y'all ain't even got y'all fourth member. So are the people paying for the full Xscape?
not
And
right.
then it was another thing that I wanted to say. Xscape might be doing y'all a favor. As I'm thinking about it, don't come for me. I'm just saying, if Xscape has more fans that are willing to actually come out to the shows, if they go on before y'all, those folks might leave when Xscape go off. They might not. I feel like sometimes when there's a headliner, like depending on who the people are, everybody don't stay for them.
No, they
After
don't.
they artists have sung, they be like, okay, well, this was cute. I'm gonna go ahead and head out. I'm gonna hear the first song they got, but I'm gonna go.
Hmm. I
So
couldn't
I don't
imagine
know.
nobody leaving.
Oh, they do. I'm telling you, I've been
I
to a
mean, for
like,
Xscape and SWV, I just can't
oh no,
imagine. Because yeah, at other concerts, I'm sure.
yeah, that's
But
what I
I'm
mean.
thinking about in this specific event, I can't imagine nobody
Oh
watching one and
no.
not the other.
To me, I
Mm-mm,
feel
I
like what
can.
you're talking about is not a headline thing. Like if we're gonna go song for song like y'all doing verses, then that really should be co-headline because nobody really should
Correct.
be
If that's
ending the show because everybody should be going back and forth, back and forth. So for me, if you're looking at it, if y'all planned on doing it like that, then it should have definitely be co-headline. But here's my thing. I feel like everybody is mad at Kandi simply for posing the question. Because to be clear, nothing has been decided. It's just that now we're having the conversation about it. And I think that they have to have that conversation. It's just that normally people like us aren't privy to those
That
and
is
conversations.
they
interesting,
don't have a
though.
manager.
Who don't have a manager?
There's
Xscape.
Xscape. So they had to
Oh,
kind
so
of
the
have
two
that,
white
throw that
men
out
don't
there.
man. Who the two white
No,
men
those were
managers?
SWV's
SWV.
people. So it was
Oh, he said,
Kandi. And
"Hey,
then
neither one of us are
also,
gonna argue with you." That's what
listen,
he said.
right, because it wasn't them. But also, peep how nobody else said anything. You ain't hear shit come from Tasha, especially, and that's what I wanted to say. Tasha,
True.
you know what? You're phony as fuck for that because you sat there and you ain't say a motherfucking thing when Kandi was speaking up for your dollars. But then when this shit happened with Tamar online yesterday, you the first one talking about where y'all at so I can come over there so y'all could click up against Xscape, your group.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
M.
Get her away from me with this. I can't. What
Hmm.
kind of godlike behavior is this?
Thank you, Damien, for the super chat. Got me going down a rabbit hole. Did Rocky manage R. Kelly during during the first trial? Rocky and Tasha met when they both were 21. Also, he must stay unemployed if that's the only talent he can name. Thank you so much for the super chat, Damien. I I would think so.
I
I would
mean,
think he was working around that periodically time.
Had to be. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. If
yeah. Especially because back
That's
then they probably
crazy.
did shows together. If you think about it, I bet you could Google a R. Kelly Escape tour from the late 90s or mid to late
Mm,
90s. 94, 95. They absolutely probably went on some type of tour together.
I bet. Thank you, Jania. I hope I said that correctly for the super chat. And their mom is so religious. And remember, Tamika was pregnant when her first album came out and they were mad young. Tamika was the rebel. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Yes,
And that could also be an issue if she has a certain path she wanted her daughter to follow, and Tamika just wasn't getting with that path.
that's true.
y'all, I just Googled R. Kelly escape, and the only things that popped up is talking about R. Kelly. No, R. Kelly didn't escape prison.
Did you spell
It's not
escape
R.
right?
Kelly. I spelled it with the X. I spelled it right, but it's not popping up the group escape. It just keep talking about R. Kelly in prison.
That is so funny.
R. Kelly escape. Yeah. Yeah, they did go on tour. R. Kelly and Lil Cool J escaped solo,
Oh,
1996.
Uh-huh. I'm looking at
child.
one. Shit. What's this from?
Let me scroll. Let me see this.
Girl, not in 2018.
Okay.
Not in
Oh, they went on tour?
2018.
Really?
It
Oh, I
Uh-uh.
see that
let's say
already.
Escape brings out
No.
Jermaine Dupri, Wiz Khalifa, R. Kelly, and T.I. as second sold out show in Los Angeles in 2018.
They said that they believe he Escape had the same manager or something at one point.
Oh
And that was
my.
Rocky because Rocky was managing them at one point too. And I'm looking at this is a show from 2018 when they first came back out. This is when they had the sold out shows and all of that. This is
Uh-huh.
the one of the nights. So, and it's not R. Kelly, but I'm just saying it's June's Diary at 7, Zonique at 7:15, Tamar at 7:45, Monica at 8:30, and then at 9:40, Escape. And
What
that's
did y'all type in? Escape R. Kelly what?
a show.
You gotta type
That's what I'm
yeah,
looking
show or tour at the end.
at.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I found one of them. Oh my.
Child.
These folks here.
I mean, if I think about it, that's what would make sense. R. Kelly was like, he was that guy at that time. Like Honey Love and all of that came out in those years where Escape song came out, I think. Those big songs. Mm.
Down Low Top Secret Tour. LL Cool J Escape. That's what it's called. Down Low Top Secret Tour.
Did they y'all know they got a new Surviving R. Kelly documentary coming out on Netflix.
Damn, I thought it
Do
was
they?
over.
Yeah. I think it come out tomorrow.
So this is different than the
Child, this
Lifetime.
is messy.
It's the same one as the Lifetime, but it's not happening on Lifetime anymore. Now they've been doing them on Netflix, I believe. And this
Okay.
one, I
My
believe,
goodness.
is gonna be talking about the shit that happened when they did the Gayle King interview and the parents of all of those Joycelyn Savage and Azriel Clary and all of that. It's the interviews with them. And also whatever else stuff has been going
Child.
on, because I didn't think I was gonna be interested, but when I watched the trailer, it looked like they have there's some more stuff going on that we don't know about exactly, or that's not
Yeah.
very clear. So I want to see how they break down the case. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The evidence. Like, let me see how y'all break down the evidence. I want to see.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Anything else happened on the show that I think that was it, really, the co-headliner situation, Tamika and her mom.
I
And I think
mean,
that
they
was
tried to
it.
make something out of Lily and her son, but I kind of feel like that's another y'all trying to come to us with the bullshit because she didn't have that boy on at least two other reality shows besides this one. So if anybody trying to help their kid get on, it's Lily. So you know what I mean? Like we ain't about to sit up here and act like y'all really arguing about this on the reality show. Like, come on, that's the
Mm-mm.
help. Okay, that's the help.
No. I only remembered her talking about sister something pussy. I didn't understand, but I'm like, you
Ooh,
done
okay,
said don't call you by your first name, but you
sister hot
talking to them
pussy.
about pussy, sister hot pussy.
Right, that's what
Sister
I was
hot
thinking
pussy.
too.
So she's coming out with like Audible books that are like erotica, like Zane and them, and it comes out in 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
because I DM'd her and asked her because I was looking. Because I remember when they did the first reality show, she talked about how she was like the most sexually liberated one of the group. And that was like, really a part of her thing back in the day, is that she collected a lot of experiences, being Lily at SWV in the 90s and, slinging, cat, as she should, as she should. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what she gonna be talking about. Like, is it gonna be made up stuff, or is it gonna be stuff from your life? Like,
Right.
is it gonna be that one time you and LL Cool J? You know what I'm saying? Like, like.
What happened with her and Lil Cool J?
No, I'm just using it as an example, child. Who knows? But
Oh, I just
I
wanted
don't
to
think it
know.
was
That's
LL
what I
Cool
said.
J. He been with the same woman this whole time, and ain't nobody ever came out and said nothing about him. So I ain't even gonna put that
Yeah, I
out.
haven't heard anything either.
That's why my head turned all the way to the side like that. Like I had never
Right.
heard that.
Nah, I'm just meant like,
Yeah.
anybody,